All right, with us now is defense and trial attorney Misty Marris. Counselor, thank you so much for being with us. So we've got this physical evidence now, forensic evidence. You've got the motive evidence, a lot of it. If you are going to put on a defense here, how would you do it?
You know, John, the way that it's going to be leveraged as a defense is to look at all of this evidence, which is right now very forensic, right? We've got fingerprints, we've got the video evidence that's basically following now the forensic evidence where Mangione is now on the trail that the video is showing this individual. But whenever you have that scientific evidence, there's two ways to attack it from a defense perspective. One way, you have your own experts review it and try and undercut it. The other way, you see how it was collected, how it was handled, and work arguments to maybe get some of that precluded so it would never make it into the courtroom. Is that going to happen here? I don't know, but I would imagine the defense attorney is going to look at it from that perspective to see if they can keep something out. Whether or not the gun in the backpack that was found, the IDs, is there a way to keep that out and create a fruits of the poisonous tree argument that would make it more difficult to connect those dots?
One of the big problems you would have as a defense attorney, the writings, the extensive writings. You can't wish those away.
Yeah, that is a huge problem, especially since the writings not only talk about what a motive is, you don't even need a motive to prosecute a case, but it also says, well, by the way, just to let you know, I acted alone, and please look at my spiral notebook because you'll learn more information about how I actually went about planning this crime. And again, John, so difficult. There's a mountain of evidence here, but from a defense perspective, you're going to look at ways to potentially keep that ultimately out of the courtroom.
So I want to be careful how I talk about this because this guy is not a hero at all. If, in fact, he did kill the CEO, this was a heinous act, a violent act here, yet there are people out there who are supporting him in different ways. As a defense attorney, is that something you could try to use? Get people on a jury mad at the healthcare industry?
Well, certainly. I think from a jury perspective, a jury is ultimately going to make a determination. If you have some folks on the jury that might be angry at the healthcare industry and your job is to raise reasonable doubt, that could be a strategy. So a million years down the road when we're at trial, but for the purposes of extradition, it's almost certain that he's coming back to New York.
That's why I'm not even asking about that, because he's coming back to New York. The question essentially is when. I'm just trying to look down the road and see what the defense here is playing at here and what fears they may be trying to put on the prosecution about how the prosecution investigators handle this. If this suspect wants to put on a show, right, and we have seen evidence that he does. The markings on the shell casings, the shouting going into prison, obviously the various ways he's sending messages to the world here. How uncomfortable could he make this for a prosecution?
Yeah, monopoly money and all of his writings. Well, so, John, a couple ways the defense proceeds. One way is what we've been hearing so far, the "it wasn't me" defense, right? But as that evolves and it becomes impossible, based on all of this evidence, to say it wasn't me, then it was me, but. And so that "it was me, but" is the way that the defense is going to try and posture this at trial. And to your point, this is absolutely heinous crime. He's a suspect right now. But trying to raise reasonable doubt or trying to say that there's for some reason why this should not be charged at that higher level murder, maybe jury don't find him guilty of that because of all these reasons. So those are the two strategies right now. Tough defense case, obviously, a lot coming together for the prosecution.
All right, Misty Marris, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kate?